Live once again for our part cutting ritual. We're going to do the fuselage tonight. Try to cut the parts for that. Get it marked out. First thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to cut these motor mounts. Well, if you have been on the server and you saw Bud's post, if you can see this, you're on the new server. Unfortunately for me, I have to put my VPN to France in order for me to see the new server, so I won't be doing much till the internet propagates to the IP, gets across the airwaves. So if you're posting an article that you feel is important and you want it to stay and don't want to rewrite it, don't post it until you can see that message. If you can see this, you're on the new server. Because we certainly wouldn't want all that important information to go away. All right, let's see. Where's my little square? I don't know whether this will cut it easy or not. I might have to go over to the jigsaw. I'd probably cut it okay if I could hold it on the bench. You don't think that saw is sharp? It's real sharp. Let's get this other thing over here. I don't want to grind into the aluminum and dull the teeth. This is not good for it, but maple motor mounts, 1 pull saw. This ain't like a Zona saw because this is made for doing cabinet work on hardwood. So okay, we got our motor mounts. And these are heavy. So we're going to do the routing trick on this. Now let's lay out a fuselage side. Huh. Alrighty, so we want to do leading edge mark, which is right there. The spar mark, which is right there. Trailing edge mark. We need to make this. This is quarters, so we need at least that much. This is half. Okay. How many of you guys have been on the new server? Does it seem better to you? I try. Much bigger. After 20 years of pictures, it was pretty full. I guess I can just put this down here like so. And we'll mark it with this. No good. So we're going to cut a notch in this, but not in the doubler. Because as I told you, the leading edges on the fuselage just butt to the outside, but are locked into a notch to the doubler. Okay, so we need a center line now. Where's my good ruler? Not where it's supposed to be. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we can use this one. Oh, there it is. Nope, that ain't it. What the hell happened to it? We use this one. We use this one. I got so many rulers. This way I won't have to measure it. Just set it out there and go. I should have took that long one. So we can do the datum line. Let me get the other one. We'll get the other one. If you're working in a place you got no room, it's ridiculous. You got too much shit. This needs to be about half its width. And it ain't long enough. I can't win. Okay, let's do this then. You want to be that way. Need bigger benches. Need less shit, more bigger benches. Okay, so where is the sanding bar? Did it hide underneath the blanket here? Nope. Did it Hiding behind the wood here. Nope. There's my good ruler underneath this lumber. Where is the sanding bar? No, this ain't it. I need my long bar. There's a short bar. Aggravating. Aggravating. I know damn well it didn't go anywhere. I didn't take it out of the room. If I can do this kind of work in this mess, just think what I could do in an organized shop. It's gone. It is not there. I did not take it out of the room. Guaranteed. Nobody's been in here. Guaranteed. What the hell happened to it? It's laying underneath something somewhere. Look at this. Yeah, it's not straight, so we're going to have to sand it straight. I don't want to put paper on this because this is a waste. Yeah. Maybe I'm just unprepared tonight. Not like every night. It's not there. Damn. It's under here. There it is. Off the end of the bench underneath the blanket. No wonder why I couldn't find it. Okay, we got to have a straight datum line to start with. Side. I might as well do both these pieces at the same time. That's a 23. That's a 23. So in order to do that, we're going to tack them together with a little bit of CA. We can always cut them apart. Good thing I checked this because they are way out. Way out. Okay. This is a precision ground straight edge. Of course. Of course. So this is the nose. Let's square that up. Yeah. Roy Lane, Wayne Rice. Thanks for the likes and all that. Yeah, shooting for 40 ounces. Yeah, we'll make some use out of this. Okay. Datum line is this side. Okay. You can see that it's off just a little bit, and we want perfect. It's off by a fingernail's worth. So we'll sand that straight. I was going to cut it, but might as well sand it. We like perfect. Very good. Okay, that's that. So we got these are the same. Pretty close. But we want really close. They're the same now. So we want to do the same on the trailing edge. They're off about a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. Now we can put this, get this thing back to where it was. Shit, am I going to even get these cut in an hour? Shit. I knew it had to be hidden somewhere. Simple. Simple dimple. My ISP has not updated the DNS, and that's why I can't get on it unless I go to France on my VPN. Also dust. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the tail post. This is the tail post. And we're going to use calipers. I don't have to measure, I just caliper it. Okie dokie. Now where'd the pencil go? Oh, shit. There it is. Now we want to measure the thrust line. Let's go from the top. It's from the datum, which is that line right there. You know, another thing I noticed, it didn't show the bell crank hole or nothing on this. Oh well. So we're going to use a 4-inch bell crank. We're going to need a bell crank hole. Not real good, guys. Need to figure it out a little better. I don't see a bell crank there. I have to get another one out of the drawer. Where are you? Come on, I know I got them. Why is it everything so difficult when I need it to go smooth? Yep, here we go. Got them in my hand. I got them in my hand. I got one out here floating around somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. It's already got the pivot pin in it. I'll find it. Oh, it's right in front of my face. That's okay. We'll use this. Don't have a pin on it. So I'm going to move my engine back, or my tank back, into the wing. Now this is a 6-inch tank, and I'm only going to use a 5-inch tank, but that'll give me an inch of leeway. If I tighten it up as tight as I can make it. So the bell crank is going to sit behind the spar here. We're going to have a couple of holes. For the clearance. Get the hole cutter. So if I put F1 right here, and I move it back all the way to here. F1 right there. That moves the tank back to there. That should do it, because it's a short little motor anyway. So do we want to raise the bell crank or lower the bell crank? I guess we're going to lower it, because we're going to have enough for a ball link. I'm going to stand off. It's right on that line right there. We might get this laid out. Probably won't get it cut out, but we might get her laid out. Doubler's going to come back to here. So this is the cutout for the bell crank mounted. You guys probably can't see that. It's a little hard to show stuff. Let's see if we can get this camera over here. And turn that way down. And we'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I have marked out the bell crank slot. Here's the spar right here. Can you guys see that or not? I could draw it out in pen, I guess. If I could find a pen. If I could find a pen. Got one. Okay. God, this fucking. Not a good one. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. Nice and black. It does not show this on the plans. So if you had never built an I-beam before, you wouldn't know what to look for. So this is kind of important. Because this is part of the wing. Hard to believe, but it is. You want to make sure the spar is 90 degrees to the thrust line as well, or to the datum line as well. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for a weird loading on the wood, twisting of the wing. That there's the cutout for the bell crank opening. Now let's measure back, measure down and measure back. We have 1 1/8 here, 1 1/8, 1 1/8. And this line is, God, 2 3/4 long. You know what? I'm going to use these setup blocks to make it perfect. So we got 1 inch and 1/8. Could actually be a little bit. You know what? this was not set up well. Not really. I guess I could add that afterwards. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and add that afterwards. Two and 3/4. Now, what do we got here for difference? About an inch. What it looks like to me. Nope. 1.25 inches. We have two 2.5 inches here. At the spar, it's 2.5. Well, there ain't much there. There ain't much there. Little airplane. I guess I better check it before I make a mistake. From the center line, which is right there, yeah, it's only an inch. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we need the long straight edge. going to go from right there to right there, and that's it. I guess we can use the precision straight edge. That's the mark. Man, sure don't look right. I must be measuring it wrong. It can't be right like that. Top of that to the bottom of that is 1 inch. That's not fucking real. Hard to believe it's such a tiny airplane. And when I was a kid, I'd have thought it was huge. Let's see here. Two and a half. 2.5. 2.5. Ah, that's where I'm screwing up. 2.5 to F2. To F2. That's why it looks bad. Wow, thank you very much for that super chat. I can't even read it from over here. That is from Keith Router. Thank you very much. Reuter, I hope I'm saying your name right. Well, I buy my balsa wood from anybody that has it. And you just buy it, and whatever you can't use, you shelve it and sell to your RC friends. I think that's the biggest super chat I've ever got. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, I know that's the biggest one I've ever got. Okay, let's just measure it. That'd be a whole lot faster to do it that way. F2 from the nose is 39 millimeters, 390 millimeters. 390 millimeters, which I don't deal in metric, but I happen to have a metric tape here. F2, 390 millimeters. For all my European viewers, the thrust line is 65 millimeters. That was moving up already. 65. 65. I'm glad I looked at that because I was off. I mean, it wouldn't make much difference, but I'm trying to build this as close to what Billy had as possible. All right. Okay, so we got 3/8. These plans were downloaded from AutoZone and printed in a tile format via PDF. So if you want to build right along with me, you can do it. And so basically what we've done in our first week is cut parts. We haven't glued anything together yet. But once all these parts are cut, it'll go so fast, it'll make your head spin. I probably can put most of this together in a day once the parts are cut. Let's see, we got a few more chats over there. Yeah, maybe. I used to fly Sepulveda Basin, Whittier Narrows 50 years ago. A couple of days ago, anyway. I flew with Tom Warden and Bill Noyes. Phil Granderson was around, but I didn't know him back then, not real well. I mean, I seen him. Okay, let's measure the spar, because we're going to have to do some finagling. So if that's the center, God, there ain't much spar there. $540,000. No, that ain't right. So it's 500. That's a 1-inch spar at the root. That's ridiculous. But that'll be light. Hopefully we got enough clearance for the ball length to go through there. So if that's 1 inch and I leave 1/8 of an inch, well, let's see what it leaves, because we'll be able to see it right here. That's no good. That is no good. Trying to bring this into the real world, it's difficult. This is a 1-inch slot right here. If I were to do this, the holes as that shows, the spar would slide out of the wing. And we need this space to clear that bell crank. And it'll barely clear as is. So I'm going to have to make my spar a little thicker at the root and take away some of the cap. So if I got 2/8, that's 1/4 inch. And if I use, let's see, my cap strip on the spar is 1/8 of an inch. If I use 3/32, that gives me a 1/16 more. So I could make this I could make my spar a 1/16 of an inch more. 562.50. 62. Well, I don't leave much, but it's better than nothing. It don't leave much, but it's better than nothing. So, the change I'm going to make in order to keep the stock dimensions is this 1/8 inch cap will become 3/32. All the way out. And that'll leave us a 1/8 of an inch, approximately 1/8 of an inch, top and bottom to key in. You gotta think of these things up front. You can't get to the end and go, oh shit. It's kind of like this area right here. I might redesign the exhaust side. You know, they used to use Fox 35s and they just cut a hole in the side of the cowl and let it booger out the cowl. I'd like to run a muffler and have a hole that I can leave the muffler on and off while I take the cowl off. So in order to do that, you got to step it down. I'll have to take that motor out before I cut it and figure out where that compensation goes. And that way you can make one little hole for the needle valve. So you don't have to take the needle valve in and out every time you have to take the cowl off. So we're not going to cut these tonight. I got to get that motor out of that other airplane. There's my spar notch. Ain't much. Ain't much. And then I can put an 1/8 inch plywood plate on top and bottom of that and glue that to it. That will, because it's only going to have an 1/8 of an inch. An 1/8 of an inch top and bottom of that spar right in the center. So I have to laminate it so it doesn't break. So we're going to laminate some 1/8 inch plywood to the top. And there won't be any goofy doublers like Billy does. You know, because they used to use perfect bell cranks or Vico bell cranks, and they were really thin. I mean, and this carbon bell crank is an 1/8 inch thick. Plus you got the hub. Plus you got the loops. You've got to have that big a hole in order to let's see, if I put it down here, I guess I could cut the hole size down just a smidge. We cut it down to 3/4, see what happens there, and that'll give me a little more meat. That's 7/8. That was 3/4 right there. 3/4 right there. But it's a good thing to think this shit through before you start cutting. So what will that leave me here? That'll leave me a 1/4 inch top and bottom. Now am I going to have enough hole space? Okay, I've shrunk it down by 1/16 of an inch all the way around the perimeter. And hopefully we'll have enough. I might have to clearance it only in the spots where the lead outs are going to bind up. Because you have to leave enough clearance between the standoff and the ball link and the head of the screw in order to clear the side of the fuselage. So I put it all the way down on the bottom. I guess I could take and grind that off. Grind that flat, move it down another, what is it, 1/8 or 1/16? 3/16. Move it down another 3/16. That'll give me the clearance I need for the ball length. And that'll leave me $150. 100 don't seem like much, does it? A little more than 1/8 of an inch. So this is the side that needs that too. Oh no, this is the outboard side we're doing here, so that'll be fine. I just can't cut this spot with the inboard side because we need that muffler space. Let's see, we got some more chatting over there. Let's see what's going on. Like given, I'm late to the show. Have to watch reruns to catch up. It looks like the wing parts are almost done. Yes, they're done. Except for the tip plates. I have to do some deciphering for the tip ribs because the tip ribs are the jig. That's what I needed to get this done so that I could do the tip rib. You know, I-beams are like cooking in a wok. You get all the shit done and throw it together, and 5 minutes later it's done. But you better think it through before you start gluing, because you get one shot, that's it. So this will be half the weight because it's half the size. We got 1 ounce in ribs. We're going to have 1 ounce in a spar. That's 2 ounces. Wing will probably weigh 4 ounces tops. Then we got this fuselage, which weighs 43 grams now. 1.5. So this will be 3/4 of an ounce because we're going to cut 50% of the material away. I would like a 0 ounce airplane, but that ain't gonna happen. That way I could slather it up with some paint. And that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna try to finish this one really well. I know I can build this at 40 ounces. It should be about 28 ounces with no paint on it before you start. So that leaves you 10 ounces to finish. That's 38 ounces. So no more than 30 ounces in raw wood. And that's on a little airplane like that, that should be easy to do. And then you got 20 ounces of hardware. Let's see, 30, no, you don't have 20 ounces of hardware on a little airplane like this. It's 10, you got about 14 ounces. So I need to be at 26 ounces with no ready to go. 26 ounces ready to go. It sounds super light, but you'll see. I'll weigh and show you all the progress along the way. This will be light because I'm not putting any wood in it that's even remotely close to 6-pound wood. It's all 4-pound wood and lighter. Well, this is 4.5. The two sides are 4.5-pound wood here. The ribs were 4-pound wood. Now, probably the most interesting thing that I'm going to do out of all this layout and cutting is the spar. You guys really need to know how to do a spar, a good one. You know, these kits show you to build it up out of balsa wood. It's too heavy and it's not strong. So you think, well, that white pine spar you use is heavy. Yep, you're right. It's 4 ounces now. This spar is 4 ounces in its raw state right now. But we're going to cut over 50% off of this beam, this spar up front. So that'll be 2 ounces. It's 4.1 ounce right now. We're going to cut 50% of that off because it's too long and it's tapered. So it'll get 50% off. Let's say that it weighs 2.25 ounces when I get it shaped into its right shape. I'm going to hollow and whittle this thing out until this weighs 1 ounce. It can't weigh more than 1 ounce. It shouldn't weigh more than 1 ounce. And then you got a good spar, and this is way stronger than balsa wood. See, I already have a center marked. Same as the other. We're going to relay this out. This was for a different airplane I started. No, we probably could use this to get it roughed in. And that leaves me so I don't even have to mark it out. It's already laid out. It's a little fat. So I'll have to do this off camera because there's a lot of dust. You got to sand this. All that wood's got to be sanded off. You cannot cut this wood. Don't even think about it. Put it on the belt sander and sand down to the line, 4 sides. Then we're going to take a Forstner bit and drill these holes. Then I'm going to measure out to the landing gear block, drill another hole, and hollow it all the way out to the tip. It will be light if it kills it. And when you go to the store and you pick this out, the grain on this is not quite perfect, but I find that it's probably going to be okay. And if it's not, I'll go get another one and do it again. But you want the grain to run straight on down. The grain does run straight down, but if you look in it, it's got some brown heavy grain marks that kind of go on a slight angle in a couple of spots. And I'm hoping that when I relieve the spar out of this, that it doesn't go haywire on me. But this spar is almost the right length. We need 48 inches. We used to make these spars out of yardsticks. We got 50. So see, this was for a Junar XL, and 50 plus 6 is 56. No, I guess this wasn't. Either that or I cut it off because it's 58 on a Junar. But anyway, you get the drift. And this will be an interesting project to see what we can get it down to. But what this is, and then I'll get off here and quit wrapping. What this is clear white pine lath, Lath. And back in the day, if you're not 60 years and up, you won't know what lath and plaster was. But they used, instead of drywall, they used to put these boards on the wall and then take gobs of plaster and goop on the plaster. So this is lath. And that's back when they really built homes. And now they just kind of paste them together. Well, we didn't get much done tonight. I apologize. Maybe I need to set up a game plan a little better for the next video, so we can get more accomplished. Now, Billy shows that these elevator stabilizers are cut out. That's pretty light, but you know what? They're really hard to finish that way. I might just leave them solid. The best way to do these would be 2 3/16 pieces tacked together, sanded to the airfoil, cut apart and sanded out from the inside. But I don't have any. I have 3/8 that's 4 pound, and I can use it solid. And I have found that if you can get good wood, one solid piece of wood is stronger and lighter than this built up method. But you got to have good wood. So if you don't have good wood, you do that. But we'll see how it goes. When the time comes. So are there any questions? And I do appreciate the super chat. Like I say, that's probably the biggest one I've ever got. Matter of fact, I know it is. Enjoy the new server. Hopefully it'll be propagated all the way through my DNS shortly. I did it and I can't even use it. I'm on the old server still. So if you're going to post anything of consequence that you would like to stay up, unless you see, if you can read this, you're on the new server at the top, it's pinned. Don't post like a build article or anything. If you want to just opposed to hey you, you know, or whatever, something that doesn't mean anything, go for it. But it's all been transferred over. We had 19%. No, wait a minute. We had 78% used on the other server, and now we have 19%. So that tells you how much bigger the new drive is. 4 times the size. More computing power, more memory as well. And the demarc is fixed. So should be able to get emails from Stunt Hanger now instead of getting them blocked. I don't know why Google blocked it, but they did. Alrighty. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10 away from 5,000. If you're new here, it's a miracle that you found me. Please subscribe. I'd like to make 5,000 this month. I wanted to do it before the first of the year, but I don't know. Google purged some subscribers, so that kind of pissed me off. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See you.